Welcome to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We are so excited to have you joining us on this journey where we explore different ways to empower your soul, whether it's healing in your kitchen or all the way up in the corporate world. Come with us as we look into different ways to heal your mind, body, and soul. Hey everyone, it's Catherine from Willow Healing, and thanks for tuning in today. So I am very lucky to have the beautiful Mel from Body Mind Flow with us today. So she's the founder of this studio in Camden, New South Wales, and she's the heart and soul behind it. She has created a space that fosters self-love, connection, and personal growth. And Mel's approach is rooted in holistic well-being, guiding individuals through transformative experiences that support healing from within. As a facilitator of movement, mindfulness, and authentic connection, Mel's approach is grounded in compassion, offering a non-judgmental safe space for everyone, whether you're a beginner or a seasoned on your journey. So through Body Mind Flow, she's dedicated to helping others release old patterns and embrace their true potential. Thank you for joining me today, Mel. I'm delighted to have you.
Thank you. I'm very excited.
So for anyone listening, do you want to explain what Body Mind Flow Studio is actually about and what you do there?
Okay, so it's funny because this question comes up and I couldn't answer it for so long because we're not a gym and we're not a traditional yoga studio. So I've been sitting in it. It's actually become very clear at the moment, but we're actually a wellness space.
Yep.
So I've taken my three things that I've absolutely loved in the whole wide world, so meditation, yoga, and fitness, and created a 45-minute signature class in that. So you don't have to then, go to the gym and go to yoga and try to balance everything. It's literally the one 45-minute class. You come in, you get it all, and trust me, the 12-minute workout, you still get your butt kicked in it. I love doing that. But yeah, it's just that whole approach to your whole self. But we do also offer full yoga classes, and we do also offer mat Pilates classes as well, and not to mention all the amazing workshops that come through the studio. So I think that sums it up.
And how did your vision come about, to open this studio? And for anyone listening, when I first walked into Mel's studio, I went, was this the lolly shop? So if anyone grew up in Camden, New South Wales, they'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. There was this old lolly shop, and you're like, yes, it was.
I know, I've heard that so many times. I love it. And it just brings up everyone's memories from when they were little kids. It's so good. How did it come about? I guess at a young age, I've always been really active and been going to the gym and watch my mum go to the gym. So I was always like, I want to own my own gym one day. And then I kind of was like, I want to be a PE teacher too. So I did the PE teacher thing. And then, always, as I said, I just was like, I just want to have my own studio. I just don't know what it's going to look like, but I just want my own space. And then I kind of, when I was teaching, I really burnt out. I have to admit, I got really burnt out, and I think that transition of that, and then just some shifts in my personal life, I really came to know myself and what I was really searching for and what my passion was and who I was. And and again, just having the three things. So I kind of did my PT while I was at uni studying teaching. And then I was like, I want to do meditation teaching too. And then, I want to do yoga. And I remember my husband at the time going, oh, God, you're teaching. Why are you doing all this other stuff? I was like, just trust me, it's all going to come together. I don't know how. And so I got really caught up not caught up, I would say, but I really started focusing on this whole de-stress process and just de-stressing myself and what that looked like and how I could do it. And then, I guess the concept came with, I was constantly going to the gym, but because I was already burning out, my adrenals were up, my cortisol was up, I was just literally burning out, and I'd go to the gym and then not really feel better, like half an hour afterward I would, and then I'd be like, oh no, this isn't working, and then got into yoga, and then found out the yoga I was doing at the time, because I just stepped into yoga, I was still I was doing hot yoga, so I was still doing the elevating of my nervous system. I was like, okay, let's drop into yin. And then, yeah, the studio just came about. I left teaching and kind of just went, what am I going to do? And so I got a couple of jobs in the gym and at a yoga studio, and then I went, you know what, 9 months in, I'm like, I'm done. I want to do something for myself. And then the studio came about. So, yeah, it was pretty magical, actually. It was pretty magical how it all evolved.
We were we were talking about just before we popped the recording on how you actually went through almost like a manifestation process because of the magic involved when you're almost your, I guess, all your joys aligned. I guess it would be the best way to describe that.
Yeah, fully. I was just, there was definitely that joy in there going, oh, this is what I want. And I remember walking into the studio the first time I looked at it and completely shit myself. I was like, nope, I'm out. Nope, too much. I'm not doing it. And then, that feeling that you get, and it's all the imposter syndrome, and I can't do this. So, but it was still available a month later. I remember driving past with my daughter, and I was like, oh, it's still there. Let's go look up. And we went past, and I got home that afternoon, and she's like, Mum, can you just do it, please? I'm sick of hearing you talk about it. And then, and I came home with with my 4 daughters, and I said, okay, family meeting, this is what I want to do. And they're like, just do it, Mum, what have you got to lose? And so they were my biggest support and my biggest encouragement to do it. And then the second it was the manifesting started coming. Like, it was like, okay, the funniest thing I first bought was a fridge, the bar fridge for the kitchen. And I was like, oh, I need a fridge. So I bought the fridge, and then as I bought the fridge at the same place, off Marketplace, it was like, there was a lounge, and then there was all these little tables, and I was like, okay, you've literally just given me everything I needed. So yeah, it was, and it's just evolved. It's just been such a beautiful space to watch, and and when we're not forcing and just allowing that flow, hence why it's called the body-mind flow, because it's, we're moving the body, but we're also tapping into that mind and reprogramming the mind and tapping into ourselves. But then there's also, we find this flow in life. And that's what I live by, is trying to stay in that flow.
Yeah. We're talking about too how when you try and block that flow or try and control, let's say the control word, right? When you try and control what's going to happen and what's going to come to you, the flow isn't there. And you end up just in this place of resistance. And, the other week, I don't know how I did it, but I was actually repelling almost clients and abundance and things coming in, and I'm like, whoa, what have I done? Like what am I pushing away? So, when
Absolutely.
you surrender and let that divine trust come in, that is when the magic truly happens.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell the girls all the time at the studio, it's like, we experience everything, and when we can create enough experiences of what we do, and then it builds up with evidence, so that evidence then builds up, and we're like, oh yeah. So that, as you say, that second that you fall out of the flow, it's like, oh, hang on a second, all these experiences are coming back up. I've been here before. Let's flip back, pull back, connect back to spirit. What's going on? Let go and surrender. Yeah. But yeah, it's just that beautiful flow, surrendering, trusting, and then it's like, oh shit, I've got to force. No, let go.
And you're like, hey, can I do this? I know you're saying yes, but can I really?
Well, I think it's the thing, especially in business. It's we're so conditioned to be running our business from a masculine energy.
Yeah.
So it's always about the strategies. It's always about the pushing and the hustling. And I'm like, well, hang on a second. I actually work the opposite. And so the more I pull back and I just kind of do my own little thing, it's like more comes in. Yeah. And it's just that different, like coming back into that feminine energy then. It's so bizarre because you almost can't articulate that.
Yeah. It's like, we've been so conditioned to believe that in order to earn money, we need to work 9 to 5 days a week, minimum 5 days a week, and minimum 9 to 5, right? And if you want to get further, then you have to, maybe do all this overtime and, just grind at it, and you got to do this and you got to do this. But it doesn't give you freedom or space to actually create. It doesn't let you have that space to be in the flow. And it's almost like you're that it's almost like a collective programming that if you don't work hard, you don't earn
Yeah,
money. Whereas
exactly.
yeah, whereas when I know personally when I sold my company, I went from 7 days a week managing staff issues every day, having to
Hmm.
still try and see clients and everything like that, and stepping back to just working 3 days. And I was bringing in more income in those 3 days working for somebody else than I was trying to manage a company. And I literally had my stress bought. So
Yeah,
I sold my stress, and
that's so good.
yeah, and some people look at me and think, why would you do that? Why would you sell and work for somebody else? But it also allowed me to have this space where I can, create podcasts and create my healing work and do all that things where I wouldn't have had that in the position I was in. So, yes, it was a big leap, but at the same time, when you trust the universe, then all this magic happens and everything flows, like you were saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I remember the same thing opening the studio, and
Mm.
I just remember having so much more time, and it was kind of baffling me because everyone's like, it's so hard to open a business. It's so busy, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not busy. And then, I'd go through flows where I was a little bit busy, but I had so much time, as you say, to do the healing work. Like, I was able to go and see, the different people that I have to work with, and I had the time and the space to work with that. And the best part was I got to share it with everyone. So, like, I don't sit in the studio at the front of the class and pretend that I'm like somebody higher up person or better than anyone else. Like, I'll sit there and I'll share my raw, real and vulnerable truth. Like, because at the end of the day, most of us are going through similar situations, or, we've got similar stories. And it's just having that safe space for people to, like, the safe and sacred space to actually just be seen.
Yeah. And feel
So,
vulnerable and not be judged. That's the biggest thing too.
absolutely. And that is my biggest rule. Like, the only rule that I have at the studio is that when you come in, it is about you. It is never about anybody else. So no matter how far someone can pull their leg up over their head, not that we ever do that, but like, I go, it doesn't matter what level your fitness is. It doesn't matter how much yoga you've done. I don't care. It's about you being here. You're showing up for yourself and moving your body in whatever way your foot gets to the top of the mat. It doesn't matter. You're still moving.
Yeah.
You're still feeling into your body. You're still breathing. And yeah, so I'm really big on that because we're just conditioned to judging and have this expectation on ourselves, and it's like, let it all go.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think too, like when you've gone through the journey, which everyone has a journey, everyone's journey is unique, but when you share that with people from a heart space, like a place of love and compassion, then that's when people truly resonate and will come and find you.
Yeah, very much so. It's completely different energy.
Yeah.
You can feel it when it's not.
And you're like, I think they're just going through the motions of being here.
Yeah.
I know
Very
their
much
mouth
so.
is saying this thing, but their energy doesn't match that. I know for me that's a big thing because I see through people's masks. Like we all tend to put masks on to protect ourselves or whatever it might be. And people will be like, that was so nice. And I'll be like, no, they're really not, and they're like, what did you see? And then I have this moment where I think, am I reading too much into this? And then I'll meet someone else that's similar to myself with energy and we'll go, oh my gosh, I can't handle that person. I'll say, oh, thank you.
I completely can resonate with that one. Completely. And you make decisions to, you do the same as when you have business and you can have people and you're like, something doesn't feel right, but I'm still going to go against what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to suss it out. And again, experience, and then the evidence. Like, oh, yep, that was why that was not meant to happen.
Yeah.
but it was my lesson.
Definitely. And then you just think, oh, or sometimes you think, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I listened to that and I dodged that bullet, or I didn't address that client, or, it just didn't resonate with me, or, even I was in an expo recently and I met this person and I was sharing with them about this podcast. And then I walked away and I went, I actually shuddered and I went, no, I don't want to exchange energy with that person.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, that feeling, and you can't deny that feeling. Like
no.
when you've actually experienced it,
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, no, that's a real feeling.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then that's where we rediscover as humans, we rediscover our power in honoring those feelings, because that is our intuition showing up for us in a big way. And we've been so conditioned to push it down, and say, oh no, that emotions are such a thing, just put it in the box,
Yep.
deal with it later, don't react. It's like, well, no, I
Yep.
want to react. I want to kind of have the teenage tantrum at this situation, but I'm going to do it in an adult way.
And that's right. And it's the communication too. Like, people are so reactive in the way they respond, and it's like what we were saying before. It's so, when you're so busy, you don't have time to process that. Like, I don't know about you, but if someone decided to lash out at me for whatever reason, like if they're projecting something, having the power to sit there and just listen to them and go and feel and go, oh, this is actually not mine. Yeah, you might be experiencing what you've experienced, but there's something underlying that's going on through that. Because when we can have that ability to communicate with someone and stay calm and stay centered in ourselves, holy crock-a-molly, that changes the game.
Yeah, it does. And I've learned to say, thank you, that's not my journey. Because, we would always rush to judge something, and we go, I just say now, thank you, that's not my journey. Thank you, that's not my journey. Thank you, that's not my journey. Because, everyone is their own space, and you could easily make choices to end up in that person's space or energy, but you've chosen not to do that. So that's not your journey.
Yeah.
So I found that really powerful, because I was really struggling not to go, oh, are they really doing that?
Isn't it funny though? Like, we get it. Like, how many times do we have to experience it in our life to go, okay, I've finally got the message now. I get it.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just like, hey, you know how you thought you dealt with this already? Well, you missed this bit, so we're bringing it up again.
Yep, absolutely. And it's amazing too, because you think people can't, I don't want to say like vindictive or manipulative, but the reality is it's what it is. And you're like, how do people actually be like that? Like, I don't know. I find it hard to be like that. I don't think I can be like that.
Yeah, and that's
so
where
when you see it.
Yeah, and that's where you come back. Thank you. That's not my journey, right?
Exactly. Exactly. I guess that's the best part of the growth, isn't it? To be able to see something for what it is, and be able to step away and go wholeheartedly, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for showing me the lesson.
Yeah.
I'm sending everything back to you.
Exactly.
Filled and with love.
You can have. I remember my friend. She was reading this book on, I think it was theta healing, because we both had it, and she was at a massage course, and this person came up to her and went, oh, you don't need to read that. And she's just like, woo, like it was like this really, like the conversation was really hostile towards her just reading this book. And she went in her mind, thank you, you can have that projection back. Thank you, you can have that projection back. Because, she's like, I don't want that. And often when we interact with people, I feel a lot of people don't realize when someone says something hurtful towards you, it's actually a reflection of what's going on with them. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And I feel a lot of people don't understand that, and that's where people can then just feel like attacked, or they feel, like, where'd that come from? And like you said, it's when you step back and have that moment and go, whew, what is going on for them at the moment, that you can release that and not have that reaction.
Well, very much so. And again, that's what, like, at the studio, that's what it's about. I just get the girls every day to check in. How are you feeling today? And even that to sit every single day and go, how are you feeling today? There's only at some people, there's only that level that they can feel so far into, and then they don't because it's blocked.
Yeah. It's like the power of our words. And I remember someone said I was listening to somebody and they said, you know, how often when people say, how are you? And we just default and say, I'm good, even though you're not good. And I actually sometimes catch my clients' parents when I say to them, well, how are you today? And they're like, oh, I'm good. And I'm like, well, clearly you're not. Do you want to talk about it? And they're like, what? I said, well, your body language is telling me you're not good. You sent me a message saying this is going on. What's going on? You know, like, and they're like, oh, you know, and it's that compassion and that having that space where you can share.
Yeah, it's being seen. Like, you can see them for who, you can see them for being where they are at that point.
Yeah.
Like, so many people can't see that.
No.
Or they're like, oh yeah, they've got something else. I've got enough of my problems. I'm not even going to tap into that.
Well, yeah, and even this example, like the other week I was at a funeral and people who I hadn't seen for a bit were like, oh, how are you? And I'm like, I'm okay considering that we're at a funeral, you know, like, you know, it's like, this is a very loaded question. I actually went back to them and said, well, you know, like, you know, this is a very sad occasion, you know, I'm okay, but, you know, so, again, it was that, actually, that polite conversation. Who cares about the polite conversation? Let's get the real conversation, you know.
I know, because how many people say it but actually don't want to hear the answer either?
Yes.
Yeah. Because, I'm the same as you. I've been stepping into that going, you know what, I'm actually going to tell the truth. No, I'm actually not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, shit, okay. And it's so easy to watch the people who are avoidant are like, okay, I'm going now. And then you've got the other ones that are like, oh my gosh, okay, you need to ring me. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And it just shows the different people that we have in our life.
It does. And
real.
It's so true when you say, you know, like, actually, I'm not really okay. Like, this happened. And then you see people either completely back off because they don't know how to handle that. It's like, well, if you're going to ask me how I am, like, actually be invested in the answer. You know, it's not just...
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just being quiet.
No, it's about being authentic and having that integrity to actually follow up on what your words have actually conveyed.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how many people don't have that space to hold for somebody.
No.
Like, yeah. And again, because so many people are going through their own thing, and it's like, oh yeah, no, I've got my own stuff going on. I don't have the time. Like, no.
You know,
well, so funny to watch.
That's it. And then I think, how should we greet people? You know, and even you know, sometimes I'll try and if I see someone with really nice clothes on, I'll compliment them. I'm like, you know, I really like your pants or whatever, and most people don't actually know what to do with it, you know. And I used to be that person where I was just saying, you know, thank you for seeing me. You know, I'd be like, oh, you know, I'll go on and justify where I bought it from, or you know.
Oh, isn't that a funny behaviour that we have?
Yes.
Someone's giving you a compliment. Oh, I don't know how to make that. I don't know how to take that. No, I'm not. You're beautiful. Let's deflect it back to them.
Well, I'm a person that will look people in the eyes, and sometimes you see the most beautiful eyes, and I will actually say to the person, like, you have the most stunning eyes, and they're like, oh, and I'm just like, okay.
I know. But it's that, like, and to just say thank you.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
yeah, and feel comfortable saying thank you.
Yeah. Well, I remember once a while ago I walked past this lady and she had this beautiful dress on, and I said to her, you know, I just wanted to say that your dress is beautiful. And she's like, oh, thank you. And then I went to the shop and walked back, and she was meeting up with friends, and she actually said when she met the friends, she goes, this really nice lady said to me that my dress was beautiful, and I felt so good about it. And I was like, yes, you know, random acts of kindness, like this is what it's about. You know, I wasn't expecting anything from it. I was just truly saying, you know, like, I really like your dress. And then, you know, all that kind of happens. And versus that, I was at a was in a bathroom, weirdly, and next to this lady, and I said, oh my gosh, I really like your dress. And then she did what I used to do and then went on to justify where she got it from and all this stuff.
Oh, like, I can see you.
And I was like, wow, I really used to do that too.
Yeah, and just a reminder.
Yeah, and it's about accepting that love that someone else shares with you in those kind words and that those compliments. And then I think, how did we get to that point that we feel we need to deflect it and can't accept it, and that itself is like a bit of work. Another healing journey too.
And they've got that ripple effect too, like when we do those acts of kindness and, just compliment somebody, and coming from that genuine space of like, oh my gosh, you are glowing today. Like, oh, look at the color of your eyes. Like, they're bright, adds to, like, anything. It's just creating that ripple effect where people feel seen.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I was feeling really crappy this morning, and oh, now I feel nice. Someone saw me.
Yeah, and that's what I feel too. It could be that one compliment that completely changes someone's day. And what did it take you? Just a moment to see them and notice them and realize they were there, and maybe they needed those words from you.
Yeah, and it's even the same when you walk, like on your walk or whatever, and you see someone and you say hello when you walk past, and it's amazing to see how many people still don't say hello.
Yes.
Or they just turn and they're like awkward, can't make eye contact, got to walk in.
Yeah. Or you give them a smile and they like just genuinely don't know how to receive that the energy coming behind the smile. And my husband and I used to do that too. We used to walk around the neighborhood and see how many people would say good morning back. It was like a game.
My partner was telling me the other day that he was out in the walk, and he goes, the same person I see every single day. He goes, I say hello every single day, and nothing. No, and they don't have AirPods in, there's nothing. They're just, nah.
Maybe he needs to change.
Maybe they're socially awkward.
Maybe he needs to change what he says. Maybe he needs to like upbeat it and go, wow, I really like your pants today. And then just see what happens. Change the script.
Again, just that ripple effect. Just say hello or give a smile. I like it when you give a smile and then they give you it's like I'm embarrassed, but I'm going to smile back at you.
Yeah, I know. It's like, oh, there's a person who's seen me walking and I don't have makeup on or, whatever. And it's just like, nope, it's okay. Just be you. Just be you.
Oh,
dear. So I guess if someone was to come and experience a session with you, what would kind of happen in your studio? I'm circling it back now, but what would a typical 45-minute session look like?
Yeah, so if you were to come in for one of these signature classes, you come in. We do supply everything there. We have all the mats and the bolsters, the blocks, and and everything that we need there. You'd come in. We do a 5-minute meditation to start the class off, and then we drop into about a 10-minute yoga sequence, and then it's a 12-minute workout, and then we drop down back into a deep, like a yin stretching. So those deep, long hold stretches for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then finish off in shavasana.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, the whole concept of the actual class is to de-stress someone. So bring them in. Probably their nervous systems are up, or even if it's 6 o'clock in the morning, you come in, drop into yourself, get centered, get grounded, and then we just slowly build the body up, build up to your workout, and then drop back down. And because you walk out in shavasana, you forget that you've done a big workout 10 minutes beforehand.
Yeah. For anyone listening going, what's shavasana? It's this beautiful meditation where you just kind of lay on the floor and surrender your body and let everything almost melt into the floor and just be in your space, really. I could lack of better words for that. But, yeah.
I know. What is it called? Corpse pose.
Yes, corpse pose. And very much it is like you've surrendered your body and it is just jelly. by that point, especially
Yeah.
if you've done the yin yoga and the workout and that sort of thing as well. And for anyone wondering what yin yoga is, it's like you get into a yoga position and you hold it for a long time, and what it does is it opens your meridians, so your pathways through your body that help emotions release. Sometimes you even start crying, and that's okay. Like it's just whatever your body needs to release from that pathway, it'll release. And it seems really simple that you stay in this one stretch, but it is actually, I find it more intense than I don't know what's the opposite to yin yoga.
Yeah, doing
Yes.
your flow, like doing a full flow class.
Yeah. And so I personally find it more intense. And I, when I first did it, I was like, holy moly, like this is just wow. Like it's just holding that in, and the stretch is so much deeper as well.
It almost feels more intense.
Yes. Yeah. And it's like nourishing the muscles at like a deeper level that you probably don't even bother doing when you're doing your 30-second stretch for each position or whatever it might be. So, yeah.
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 Yeah. So delicious.
It is. If anyone hasn't tried yin yoga, it's, I feel it's, I resonate with it better myself, but I don't know if it's just from the thing I've come in, because I think for so long in my early gym career, it was always like, go, 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 go. Like I do the intense classes where you're like running around, and I hate running. I truly do. And I shouldn't use the word hate, but I really dislike running. And then, I'll only run if I have to. I made a joke when my son was born that the only time I run is after him, but
Love that.
Or if I'm racing a client to the bathroom or something like that. But, and then I just sat down and went, I don't actually enjoy any of this. Why am I doing it? Because again, it was getting stuck in that loop of I should be doing this,
Yeah. And again, it's finding the way to move your body that brings you joy.
Yeah.
So if it's not bringing you joy, then what is actually the purpose of it? If you're walking away feeling annoyed, frustrated, angry from it, or even while you're in it, well, then why?
Yeah.
Just ask yourself why.
Well, I went through this phase where I was determined I would become a runner. And and my ex at the time, he was like he was a natural runner. Like he could just, just one of those people that you see running and it's just like they're barely moving. He was one of those people. And then I'm there like struggling going up this hill, and I've been at it for like a month, and I'm like, I really don't like this. Like, why am I doing this to myself? And it was just at that moment I went, nah.
I'm done.
This is not bringing me joy. This is not making me happy. I don't want to do this. I'm forcing myself to get up, at the crack of dawn or whatever. And I'm not, passionate about it. So what's the point? So, and if you do love running, great. That's for you. It's not for me. Yes, exactly.
I
So
was the same.
yeah.
I get it. I do think I did City to Surf. I was running 1 year and I went,
Yeah.
did City to Surf. I was like, done now.
Yeah. I was the same.
Yeah. I think I did the Shire one the week before it.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks before I did that, and then the City to Surf. I was like, why am I doing this to myself for? Like,
I did a mini triathlon, Mel. And
oh wow.
Yep. And it was in Sydney Harbour, like an open swim, and I remember doing my first stroke, and I was there with my friend, and my shoulder popped out.
No.
And then I managed to struggle through like kind of swimming with like half a breaststroke kind of thing. And anyway, and I get out, and she was waiting for me because she was beautiful. Like we weren't really competing, we were just doing it for the sake of doing it. And then it had been raining, so we're like covered in mud, and we're like getting on these bikes just covered in mud, and I'm like, what are we doing?
I'm just seeing this visual.
Oh, Oh goodness. And then I still
You kind of just remember. get to the point where you laugh at it.
I know. And then we got to the end and we crossed the finish line and like we were running and I just threw up all the seawater, everything. I was like, and I think it was also my body going, great, we're done with that now. Let's move on.
Tick that one off the bucket list.
Yeah. We did it and we're not doing it again.
Yeah. Well, my goal was to do the half marathon after that one, and I've never got to it. And I was like, I actually don't even care about getting it.
No.
No.
Now you're like, I'm going to go do my body, mind, flow session. Thank you.
That's right. I will stick to what I'm doing.
Oh dear. All right. As we wrap up our time together, Mel, I often ask people if you could heal just one thing in the world or share something to heal the world, what would it be?
Oh, it would have to be that self-awareness, like to have that genuine self-awareness of who we are at every level. Absolutely creates that ripple effect because it's the self-love. So it's the letting go of the judgment, the expectation, it's compassion, it's kindness, it's just being that beautiful soul that can hold space for other people. Yeah. Probably wrap that one up a bit about that.
Yeah, exactly. I fully resonate with that. If we all came from a place of compassion and love without judgment, like how different would this world be, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. One day.
No, we're going to keep spreading it. Anyone listening, that's your job. Just pay someone a random compliment today if anyone's listening to this and just see what the ripple effect is. See what little butterfly effect you start by paying someone a compliment over anything, really.
Yeah, exactly. So beautiful.
All right. Thanks, Mel, again for being with us.
My pleasure.
And I will share, anyways, if you wanted to go book in a session with Mel, I will share the contact details for her studio and everything in the show notes as usual. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Willow Healing Matters, the podcast. We have so much love and gratitude that you have taken the time out of your day to empower you on your healing journey. The views shared by the person being interviewed might not necessarily reflect that of the host and should be used at your own discernment. Trust what resonates for you and follow your heart and soul guidance. If you have any underlying medical conditions or mental health issues, please consult with your healthcare provider before pursuing any of the recommendations. Likewise, you can always contact the person being interviewed to find out more information. This can be found in the show notes. Remember to activate, align, heal, empower, and find love in everything that you do.